Hello. My name is Matt.
My name is Abigail.
And this is Welcome back to Polyglot Progress. Mango Video Episode 3.
4, Matt.
I thought 3 got deleted.
No, it's Episode 4, Matt.
We need to format this video? On December 17th, 2017, we set out on a challenge to learn Spanish and Italian side by side with the help of Mango Languages.
Basically, our goal was to see if learning 2 languages from the same family from scratch would end up helping or hindering each other, and also kind of figure out how the Mango Languages course is for both of those languages, and give you guys some feedback on it.
Now, for anybody who's unfamiliar, Mango Languages is a website and app that uses phrases to teach you a language through conversation. So basically, it'll take these phrases and break them down over the lesson, and it uses space-based repetition to introduce you to these concepts and sounds over time.
Hey, it's us again. Now, if you've ever seen one of these romance language challenge videos before, you're probably a little bit confused as to why Intro Us is back and why there aren't clips of us studying and learning languages.
We have an answer for you. You might not like the answer.
I don't like the answer.
We don't like the answer, but it's the answer we have.
My hard drive died.
Yeah.
It has everything I filmed for Polyglot Progress, basically ever. But especially the 4 or 5 unedited videos that I had that were supposed to be finished by the end of the summer and go up in these beginning weeks of the semester. So just a moment.
Good on us.
That's enough. I'm gonna cry if we go for any longer. So originally the video that I was editing for this had roughly 30 hours of footage of us studying, talking about our experiences.
It was videos of us with our tutors, like all those lessons edited down.
And at this point, we could recover some of the lesson clips, but since we're kind of missing everything in general, it would kind of feel very out of place. So we've recovered what we can, what I had in other places, which includes, thankfully, us both speaking Spanish and Italian as of the very end of when I had been filming, which was, I think, in June, I want to say.
I think so.
So pretty much until the end of the semester, which ended in kind of the middle of May, we continued to have lessons with our tutors once a week. By the time the semester ended, we had I think, 14 Spanish lessons and 15 Italian lessons. We were having a hard time keeping up with Spanish and Italian, so it wasn't necessarily a 2 languages specifically problem. It was a 2 languages while at college kind of problem, while also trying to schedule lessons that not only worked for 2 people, us, but also for our tutor. Towards the end of the semester, we were able to have our Italian lessons on Saturdays, but our Spanish lessons, which were supposed to happen on Fridays, kept having to be moved to either the weekend or to earlier in the week. I think for a while we were having lessons every Tuesday, basically, because that was what worked. And also we had originally foreseen the challenge only being winter break. And maybe the first few weeks of the semester. I don't know if we ever talked about that, but that was kind of what we initially had hoped for.
We thought it was going to be a language sprint type thing where
we kind of wanted to do a 30-day thing, and then we realized that was kind of a few too many variables almost. We were trying out a course, we were trying out learning 2 languages from scratch, we're trying out learning 2 things from the same family. It wasn't something that we wanted to test so much. We didn't really want to test how much can you learn in 30 days? We wanted to see how much can you learn with these courses while learning 2 languages, that sort of thing. So we decided to kind of just keep going because we were also both just enjoying the languages and the lessons and everything, so we kept going, and now we're a whole other semester into the
it's almost a year.
It's almost been a year at this point.
That's crazy.
So, we kept going, but there were some things that came up that we didn't really foresee happening.
And also, towards the end of the semester, we did have lessons during summer for a little while, but then it was a 3-month gap between lessons. And then we had a review session with both of our tutors within the last few weeks.
I had an internship that took up a lot of my time that I really didn't have time to have lessons during, and it was also just I was never given a set schedule, so I could never plan lessons to happen. And I was obviously it wouldn't have worked, and Matt had a job, so even the hours I was free were usually not the hours he was free.
I wasn't given weeks in advance. I had a schedule for that week, and
I didn't even have a schedule for that week.
But
so
even mine was subject to change. So
so I think that definitely affected our Spanish and Italian. So the clips you're gonna see, of us speaking Spanish and Italian at the end of this are going to be before that little break. And then we've since then come back and have taken a lesson each. I feel like I'm definitely feeling a little rusty, but I'm not feeling as rusty as I would have expected, I think.
I think, yeah, it's really surprising, and I think even both of our tutors mentioned that, of like for how long we've been just totally inactive, how much we were able to recall was, I think, impressive. And very fortunate, because I definitely did not think I would recall as much as I think we did. It's interesting because I think it's always been the case of like I feel stronger in Italian verbs and whatnot than I do with Spanish verbs, but like that's remained the case. And like normally you kind of need to let things like settle for a while. You can't always be studying, or else you'll never let it like let the cement harden in your brain. But I definitely feel like Italian is still stronger for me. Whereas during the Spanish lesson, I was able to recall a good bit and like actually say more than I thought I could. And like it always comes to like I get so much anxiety before the lessons, and like I'm always like, all right, we need to speak in Spanish for like the next half hour so I can feel ready. And but that doesn't help, because then I just stress out more. But once I'm in the lesson, it's always I'm at a much better mental state, because everybody's speaking Spanish. It's not all on me. It's a two-way street. It's communication. It's not just a monologue.
I've definitely found, kind of related to that, I really like having lessons with another person as well as the tutor.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like I feel like that actually works a little bit better for me, because I'm getting not only listening practice from like my tutor speaking to me, but I think it's like a better listening practice for me, because I'm hearing like you and the tutor speak to each other, so I'm hearing other conversations, and then I'm processing that and like thinking of how I can join in and stuff, as opposed to just being like I need to pick out the key words to kind of like respond to this question. I'm like actually processing a conversation, and then I think your answers end up like informing what I say later on as well. I'm able to hear kind of like mistakes you make, or like words that you might use that I hadn't thought of, or just like things like that, and I'm able to kind of remember those later on.
Definitely. It's also, it adds a different element to conversation when you're in a conversation with multiple people. I think it's more natural than a teacher-student response, because like you said, you have that person to bounce off of, and you can jump into a conversation. Like you have to keep thinking. It's not just I'm speaking and then listening.
I think it also gives your brain that like enough time to like process what you've learned, as opposed to just moving on to the next thing. Like I say something and she'll point out like an error that I made, and then as you're like doing the next thing, maybe you then use the proper way. Like maybe then you've learned from me how to like I don't know, how to like properly use this verb or whatever, and so then I can listen to that and like kind of have it solidified in my brain a little bit more, as opposed to like if we just went on to the next question.
Absolutely.
I'd say that although I feel like the break kind of definitely like lessened my level in both languages, I'm not super unhappy with it, because I know one of the things we set out with this challenge to do was to kind of not pose it as this like very sterile like language challenge, but more so have it be like our actual lives. We wanted to be very transparent in terms of like how we actually learn languages, and like life gets in the way. Yeah, so I feel like although it got pushed around a lot last semester, and also I'm glad that it wasn't necessarily something we tried to do just in winter break, because I think that paints kind of one picture of what it's like to learn two languages from scratch at the same time, but realistically how many people are actually going to learn it in that kind of like context of like 30 days where I can literally spend the whole day doing it, this challenge. And I think that's something that a lot of like YouTube and other social media like language challenges kind of leave out, is that a lot of people can't learn languages in that kind of like sterile environment, whereas for most of us, like we might not be able to study for a month at a time, like something happens.
And also like our circumstances changed drastically over the course of this challenge. Like
definitely.
we went from being on vacation to being full-time students again, to having essentially like we took on the lessons as being like classes in college, like just the way it worked.
And I'm still really content with that. I'm still hoping to kind of take that model and transplant it into like this semester, even if it's not Spanish and Italian, like even after this challenge kind of ends, because now we really are kind of moving towards the end. Even after that ends, I think the idea of like incorporating it as coursework is something that really works for me.
We had X amount of work that we had to do over the course of 15 weeks, and then we had like, okay, we know we'll have a lesson every week for one language. Let's plan out the work in advance. And then like, it was also the accountability, and I think I've talked about this a little, but the accountability of knowing I'll see my teacher on Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday. And it was like, almost like if you were to schedule lessons with a tutor for multiple weeks ahead, like a semester for yourself, and then follow that out as if like you have a syllabus. like, it really worked. Like, because I don't like the whole, like, classroom setting of language learning. Like, I've always kind of not liked it that much. But this was the online tutor session. This was using a course at my own pace, you know. It was really fantastic.
I guess another thing to note is in the weeks since, something I did do over the summer, and that probably affected the fact that I didn't feel like I totally lost all of my language level, was that I did finish the Mango course.
Yes, you did.
So I did continue to work through that, and I was trying to also kind of keep myself either like just thinking in the language for a little or writing in it or something like that. But you have not finished, so where are you currently at?
I'm in the 4th unit of both. I'm in the 4th unit. I think I have like 5 or so chapters left.
Okay, so you're pretty close.
So I'm getting there. I could finish it very relatively soon. I've been switching over to like podcasts for both of them, in like getting more listening and trying to expand my vocabulary a bit. But the problem there is that I don't have the output as much anymore. So I need to work around there. But a positive thing is that I worked at a supermarket this summer where I actually got to speak a decent amount of Spanish and Italian. The owners of the store next door were Italian. A lot of my coworkers were Latino American, and so I was able to speak with them, and they were willing to speak with me.
I think when people say don't learn 2 languages at once, I think that's kind of a closed-minded look at people's situations, because I think learning 2 languages at once is completely doable, but I think for most people it's not as feasible as others, because I think for us it was hard to find a balance between the 2. We'd end up leaning towards one, just because we only had so much time in our days, so we couldn't really put the same amount of time into both of them every single day. Then when we were on break, we were able to do way more.
And also just getting to use these languages like in real life, because, you know, I did have a job where it actually like mattered to use these languages, and like it affected my relationships with people, which was phenomenal, because throughout the entire program it was really just us and our tutors, and it was like, no matter how I speak, they're gonna still talk to me because they're my tutor. But with friends and coworkers and customers, like it definitely changes the dynamic. And it was interesting to see that at play, and like how actually prepared I was, despite like obvious pitfalls of like, I don't understand that word, or like, oh, that's you're speaking way too fast, stuff like that. It was quite an experience being able to use those in person.
It's also, I guess the last thing to add is that we were originally going to take the exams kind of at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
And basically it ended up being that we couldn't get any like slots pretty much in the time that we had at home before Matt was working and I was gone.
Yeah, we had like a certain time frame and none of the exams fit in there.
Yeah, and so basically things got pushed off.
So that's why it's lasted this long, because we couldn't take the exam then, so we've gotten like an extra summer, but then haven't done all that much since, so. Yeah,
so it's been an interesting thing of we were kind of ready to take it and then give you your answers. So I do feel like it's kind of going to affect how our results come back when we do take the exam, just because we're currently a few months of no lesson, whereas we would have been going into the exam with a little bit more oomph. And we obviously can't dedicate like a whole week to like prep for the exam or anything right now because we're in school. So I do think when our exam results come back, we haven't taken them yet, but when exams come back, that's just something to consider. There will be obvious
caveats of like...
and we'll talk more about that then, but again, I don't think that you should take our results of this this challenge and even the videos in this challenge is like, this is exactly what would happen for me, or thinking that like learning multiple languages, this is the way it happens, or even when other people say like, oh, don't learn 2 at once or definitely learn 2 at once, I think it all really depends on your own personal situation.
Even the 2 of us who are doing relatively the exact same thing, like we have different ways of taking notes, different ways of approaching the course. She went all the way through the course and like I kind of stopped in the middle of the summer, just because 2 people do the same thing, like even that will differ immensely in terms of like even both of our results might not be the same because of just how we learn.
Yeah, so I think that'll be interesting as well, and it's also just a good reminder that, I don't know, like watching kind of videos about languages only helps so much for your exact scenario. I think trying things out is really the way to go to learn about what works best for you.
Absolutely.
But overall, I felt like the course worked really well. Obviously, we'll talk more about that in our like final wrap-up video when we have our results. But I feel like I got a lot from the Mango course. We started reading Matilda in Italian, and I feel like I was able to understand a ton of that. I'm pretty content. I wish I could have dedicated more time, but don't I always wish that with languages?
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully we'll be taking our exams soon.
Thank you guys for sticking with us with this whole challenge. Like, it's been a very long endeavor.
Yeah.
And
thank you for supporting this video despite the fact that it is now just us sitting in my new room.
But like, just thank you for all the support and like enthusiasm surrounding all the videos. Like, it's been incredible, and it was really surprising because most people on the internet, at least, are like vehemently against learning 2 languages at once, and then like to add the notion of in the same family, and then everyone here was like, nice. So it was really nice to see, and thank you so much.
And as always, if you would like to join the challenge, we have a link down below. Mango is free through most, I feel like, libraries, at least some libraries in the United States, and I think Canada as well.
Okay.
And if you don't have access through your library or your school's library or whatever, you can also pay for a membership. Honestly, I feel like it's worth it, and I don't feel like it's worth it for most websites. So
the thing is, though, that their library of courses is so vast, and most online resources, I feel like, don't have as vast a library, and they're constantly expanding. And so like, we've been fans of them since before this challenge, and like, we'll still use them after this challenge because just incredible amount of courses there. There's pirate on there.
Well, that doesn't help this challenge specifically.
I'm just letting them know.
Thank you guys for watching, and remember,
practice makes progress.
So after 15 weeks worth of Italian lessons and 14 weeks worth of Spanish lessons, and completing much of the Mango course for both of them, I'm at Chapter 8 in Italian right now and Chapter 5 in Spanish for Unit 4 for both. And so I just wanted to do my typical kind of recap of how I'm feeling and also kind of show you guys where I'm at in the languages, but I think what I'm going to do is just show you guys where I'm at in the languages by talking about kind of my recap, just because I honestly cannot be bothered to once again talk about like who I am and my family and things. I feel like I've had those conversations so many times recently. My recaps should be pretty quick, so just know that I could speak for longer in both of these languages, so it might not be an accurate, completely reflection of the amount of time I can kind of speak for comfortably in these languages, but I also typically am not giving kind of like monologues in these languages. I'm having conversations and whatnot, so just bear that in mind. But I guess let's start with Italian. I am going to be looking down for a lot of this just because I did make myself some talking points. It is super hot here and I am super stressed, so I just need to keep myself remembering what I'm supposed to be talking about right now, so I'm sorry if that's distracting in any way. Io ho avuto mia ultima lezione d'italiano questa settimana. Ho studiato un sacco di cose in questa lezione, come il vocabolario di vestiti, di lo aspetto e di me e mia famiglia. Primo io non potevo parlare in italiano, ma con 15 lezioni e molta pratica con Valeria e con Matt, io posso parlare di molte cose. La nostra ultima lezione è completamente in italiano. Era completamente in italiano. Penso che il mio italiano è molto meglio che quando io ho cominciato a studiare e imparare la lingua. Voglio di continuare con il mio italiano. Mi piace la lingua e voglio visitare Italia. Mi piace italiano perché la lingua è molto bella e voglio visitare Italia e mi piace i film italiano anche. Voglio leggere i libri italiani e voglio guardare molti film in italiano. Penso che io posso parlare di molte cose e io sono molto contenta con il mio italiano e quanti cose io posso parlare di. Io posso discutere di molte cose e a lungo e molto bene. And now it's on to Spanish. Creo que italiano es muy fluido y muy fácil para mí. Estudié como el italiano, estudié con Matt, con Mango Languages y con mi profesoressa de Skype, Isabel. Hablamos de nos familias, nos pasatiempos y las otras temas. Pero creo que mi italiano es más fluido y más fácil y mejor que mi español porque no sé, pero el italiano es más similar de francés para mí, y francés y español es similar, pero el italiano es un poco más similar para mí y es un poco más fácil para mí porque yo sé el francés. Me gusta el idioma y quiero viajar de los países que utilizan español. Quiero viajar de Costa Rica porque hay muchos animales y me gustan los animales. Como con italiano, quiero leer un libro español y quiero ver muchos programas y películas en español. Y sí, creo que no es muy difícil para mí por ¿cómo se dice? Cambiar entre italiano e spagnolo.
Ciao a tutti, come state? Oggi io vado a parlare su il mio italiano in italiano, non so, ma sì, non ho parlato in italiano nel 3 o 4 mesi fa. Oggi vado a parlare del mio italiano e sì, vado a parlare su la nostra professoressa e che noi abbiamo fatto con lei, sì, e che mi sentito come l'esperienza con Mango, con i nostri professori. E sì, quando noi abbiamo abitato all'università, noi abbiamo le nostre lezioni ogni settimana, un giorno per ogni lingua. Allora l'espagnolo era su martedì, venerdì, uno o altro, e l'italiano era martedì, io credo, non so esattamente, però, ma io credo martedì. E su martedì noi abbiamo parlato con la nostra professoressa per un'ora e nella lezione noi abbiamo parlato su diverse cose come i nostri interessi e che hai fatto oggi, che corsi tu sei andato oggi e così come queste cose, non so. Mi piacciono le lezioni perché erano come normali conversazioni, ma con errori e aiuto e spiegazioni. Io ero molto stressato mentre la semestre, allora le lezioni erano dopo le miei corsi, come io avevo un corso di storia e dopo l'italiano su martedì ma su venerdì io avevo... Che ho? Non mi ricordo. Perché non mi ricordo? Wow. Io avevo storia ancora, ma su venerdì. Allora, un altro giorno. Perché ero difficile a ricordi, non so. Le nostre lezioni erano un tempo di rilassarsi, ma noi possiamo imparare di più perché noi siamo molto contenti nella lezione e erano che è la parola in italiano? Io so divertido in español, ma diventare, no. Quando ero all'università non avevo molto tempo da fare i corsi di i corsi di Mango, ma perché io e Abigail abbiamo i nostri professori da Mango, noi abbiamo qualcosa come noi dobbiamo farlo perché erano come gli altri corsi all'università, perché erano un'ora l'italiano, un'ora l'espagnolo. Allora noi abbiamo sentito che noi dobbiamo fargli e erano un sentito, non so se c'è una parola, però ma perché le lezioni erano come normali conversazioni, io ero molto contento da parlare con i professori e Abigail perché erano come normale, non ero molto stressato nella lezione perché ero confortabile, non so se c'è una parola, ma sì. Primero noi abbiamo utilizzato solamente Mango, l'app su iPhone, non so l'app, non so se c'è la parola. L'app è migliore, ma per 1 o 2 mesi solamente il programma Mango e dopo quando noi siamo andati all'università noi abbiamo parlato con i professori. Io mi penso che di là parlare mi penso che io credo che quando mi sento che devo fare qualcosa e io mi sono più motivato. Ahora voy a hablar de mi experiencia aprendiendo español y qué hicimos como entonces cada semana nosotros hablamos con nuestra profesora cada viernes. Sí, nuestra clase fue antes de una clase, una de mis clases de la universidad. Entonces era como un clase normal para mí. Hablamos sobre temas como qué hicimos en la semana, pero el secreto era hacerlo divertido. Nuestra profesora tenía fotos de cosas diferentes y debemos y nosotros creamos las historias de las fotos. Como por ejemplo, hoy es el cumpleaños de Abigail y necesito comprar las cosas para la fiesta que haces, y yo voy a describir que yo debo comprar y sí, cosas como lo. A nuestra profesora y nosotros hablamos sobre las cosas que nosotros interesaron, como para Abigail hacer las películas, y para mí leer, como leyendo libros y poesía y literatura, no sé, y entonces porque nosotros hablamos sobre cosas que nos interesaron, era muy divertido para hablar sobre las cosas, porque aprendieron nuevos palabras sobre los temas que interesaron. Yo debo hablar sobre cómo leer un poema, o cómo yo hacer o escribir un poema. Hablé sobre cómo ella trabaja. Yo sé que hay algunas personas que no quieren que yo utilizo el flag de México para español, pero yo lo utilizo porque es el país más próxima, cerca de los Estados Unidos. Entonces, porque yo quiero aprender español es porque hay muchas personas en ese país y mi país que hablan español, como las personas que viven en el mía no sé, ellos hablan español y ellos son de Ecuador. No están de México, pero México es el país más próximo de los Estados Unidos. Yo vivo más cerca de Canadá, entonces no tengo no tengo un otro país que yo sé más próxima que México. Lo es porque utilizo the flag de México. Tengo unos libros en español como Crónica de una muerte anunciada de Gabriel García Márquez. Abigail tiene un libro de Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Todos deberíamos ser feministas, que es más corte de Crónica de una muerte anunciada, pero yo leí Crónica de una muerte anunciada en inglés, entonces yo creo que lo estar más fácil que yo, porque yo leílo, leílo. Era muy divertido a aprender con las profesoras de Mango y con el app de Mango. Sí, muchas gracias para escucharme. ¿Puedes decirlo en español? No sé.
This whole challenge is based on the linguistic idea that the similarities between languages of the same family will help you to reach an intermediate high level more effectively and efficiently. We basically were given a few ideas as to the challenge before beginning it. We could have done Germanic families, Slavic. We were thinking about going with some Asian languages at first as well, and we both eventually decided on Spanish and Italian, but we were going to throw Portuguese into the mix as well. Right now I'm going to give you guys a little rundown of Mango languages and the actual courses over there, so if you want to join us along in this challenge, you actually can. So right now I'm on the Mango homepage and just showing a list of the languages that they currently offer, and they are still adding to this list. They're working on more courses as we speak. I just wanted to show off this example of Mango languages because I feel like this shines through best with languages with a more difficult grammar, because as we can see, the colors coordinate to where the word is in the sentence, or if the word appears at all. So like wa here doesn't appear, but neither does the ka, just it's a question mark. But you can kind of see how all of this coordinates, and then you can have a literal translation where all of these line up together. And so I feel like these are very helpful for me, and it just allows me to have a very visual experience with the language and really get a feel for the grammar and memorize where these words go and kind of internalize it as I go along. Definitely give the challenge a shot if you think you would be interested in it. Try it with whatever language families you like. We are currently doing the Romance Challenge, and that is what they would like to challenge you with as well. So I wish you luck if you decide to join us. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.